All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lantern TV Sports Basketball Show. I'm your host, Kevin Lapka, alongside Jack Emerson, Lantern Sports reporter, and Casey Smith, as usual, to my left. Got a big one. Ohio State, number 22 Ohio State, moved down in those rankings a little bit after that loss to Iowa, but they're still up there in that top 25 against number 15, Illinois. One of the biggest games of the year coming up on Thursday, 9 o'clock tip Eastern time. Big one. We know that we have superstars on both sides, E.J. Liddell, Kofi Coburn for Illinois. What do you like in this one, Casey?
Yeah, Kevin, Ohio State, they escaped from Indiana with an 80-69 victory in overtime, outscored the Hoosiers 17-6 in that extra 5-minute period. Malachi Branham, he dropped 27 points in that contest to pace the Buckeyes. And what I really liked from Ohio State in that game was their ability to get to the free throw line. They were 22 of 28, and Malachi Branham especially was 8 for 8 at the line in that game. As for this game coming up against Illinois, a little bit of a rundown on them. They've had a tough road slate. 4 of their last 5 games have been away from Champaign, and in those games they've been win, loss, win, loss, win. So if we're following that trend, Thursday perhaps is a loss. Wouldn't count it at all though, because Ohio State going on the road, it's tough to play on the road in the Big Ten. Champaign, Illinois basketball, it's very tough to play, and in those losses, though, in those last 5 games, they've been sort of tough for Illinois. There was a 16-point loss to Purdue and an 11-point loss to Rutgers. No, obviously, Mackey and the RAC are two of the hardest places to play in the Big Ten. But one key contributor at the top has been Kofi Coburn. He scored 27 points in East Lansing in their most recent win. Jacob Grandison, 24 points, really to compliment him there at the top of that offense. And then Trent Frazier. I would say it all the time. Trent Frazier is electric, everybody. He scored 12 points. He can be lethal from beyond the three-point line. So that's sort of the rundown on Illinois. It's going to be a tough test this Thursday.
I mean, we know Kofi Coburn, our guy in the back, Jacob doing the cameras, thinks he's one of the best, if not the best, players in college basketball. What do you think of Kofi, and what do you like for Ohio State, specifically the guy you've been talking about a little bit more, Malachi Branham, his ability to score the basketball recently?
I mean, Kofi is probably the Big Ten Player of the Year right now. I mean,
really?
He leads the league he's second in the league in points. He's first in the league in rebounds. I mean, he's just kind of an unstoppable force when you look at him. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the Buckeyes maybe mix up coverages against him. That's something they did a lot last year when they played him in Champaign, because they would put triple teams on him. They were putting Zed Key, they were putting EJ, they were putting Kyle Young on him too. So you have to attack him from multiple different angles. You have to attack him with double teams, triple teams, because he's not the best passer out of the post. So he's somebody that will just command respect around the basket, and that's something that the Buckeyes are going to need to do. Now with Malachi, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he can maybe pull Kofi away from the basket, because Kofi's one of the best rim protectors in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. You can use Malachi, who can really snake around defenses and pull defenders out. If you can use Malachi to get him out away from the basket, you can open up more opportunities for E.J. Liddell. You can open up more opportunities for Zed Key and more driving opportunities. So I think that's going to be what Malachi's main aspect of his game would be on Thursday, is to kind of maybe take Kofi a little bit further away from the basket than he's used to. But yeah.
Yeah, to your point, Jack, Illinois, they like to play inside out. They are 9th worst in the country in defensive 3 points allowed per field goals made. So what that means is a lot of their shots are coming from the perimeter, just by opponents and whatnot. So if Ohio State, if they get hot from beyond the arc with guys like Justin Ahrens, Cedric Russell, Jamari Wheeler, who showed a lot of poise down the stretch.
Big shot in overtime.
Yeah, for sure, in the corner. And then Michi Johnson, Freachy, as he's known affectionately. If they're able to get hot from deep, that's going to be sort of the key to success, and what in my mind is the second toughest game of the year, behind that Purdue road game, where Ohio State, they almost upset Purdue on the road. So I wouldn't put it past Ohio State to make it a dogfight, but then again, I mean, Illinois, Champaign basketball, who knows? I think they could run away with it in theory as well.
And something I want to ask you, as we're talking about Malachi Branham and the Ohio State scoring ability, it seems like recently, when you get down to the stretch, when you get down to the key moments, when Ohio State needs a bucket, they've been turning to Malachi Branham, and he's been more confident in his scoring abilities, getting to the rim, taking the shots, taking good shots too. He's a very good shot selector. Do you think we're getting to that point, or already there, that Malachi Branham is becoming the primary scoring guy for Ohio State?
I wouldn't say we're there quite yet, but I think we're starting to get to the point where Malachi is the primary ball handler in those situations. And you've seen it all year with him. I mean, he's not just a scorer. He's somebody who can facilitate the ball. I mean, you saw it game 1 against Akron. He got Ted Key the game-winning assist. You saw it the other night. Passed it to E.J. Liddell for an easy dunk, tied the game with 5 seconds left. So I think Holtman is very confident with the ball in his hands. And necessarily, I mean, he's a freshman. Like, that's the crazy thing about this all. This guy is a freshman, and he's being entrusted to win these games for Ohio State. And, I mean, he's doing it. Like, you got to think about it like this. He is making these plays, these smart plays, high IQ plays, that you don't necessarily see from a freshman. So I think that's been the most interesting thing with Malachi, where it's like, he's not just giving him the rock and saying, go score me a bucket. He's saying, here, take the rock, let's see what you can do with it. See if you find a better pass, see if you can get a better angle to the basket, stuff like that.
He's very selfless with the basketball.
And I've really seen a little bit of a defensive jump for Malachi Branham as well, being able to be an on-ball guard. Alfonso Plummer and Trent Frazier are 2 options, especially from beyond the three-point line. Plummer, he is second in the Big Ten with a 39.2% three-point field goal percentage. And Trent Frazier right there, electric. He is 34.2% from deep. Alfonso Plummer averaging 14.7 points per game. So these are really good compliments to Kofi Coburn down low if they want to start establishing their game from deep. Illinois basketball, here comes the pain, as our friend John Rothstein affectionately says.
And let's have a little fun. This is a big-time game, and we're not covering another game. We're just doing this one today. So we won't do a specific score prediction, but we'll start with you, Jack. Confidence level, the confidence you have in Ohio State to go on the road, go to Champaign on a Thursday night and pull off the win there at Illinois. What is your confidence level with that?
I'm going to say not very high. For one big reason is that Illinois is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And Ohio State
They struggled recently.
Struggling heavily to keep teams off the offensive glass. And especially to play at a place like, I think it's State Farm Center out in Champaign. It's a tough place to play, and it's a great team, so well-coached team as well.
We, in our football journeys, we've driven past Champaign, Illinois. It's not a lot going on, not maybe as big of a city as one may seem.
It's a college town.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a college
It's
town.
a college town, real gritty place. They love their basketball there. That's their focus, and I think they get the job done. They're 11-2 at home this year. Ohio State, they're 4-5 on the road. Ohio State, they really haven't shown that innate ability to go on the road and get the big win. I'd say Michigan's probably the biggest road win. They faltered on the road late against Rutgers. So I see Illinois playing pretty handily and coming away with, I'd say probably like anywhere between 8 to 12 point victory.
Yeah, should be good one. It's a big one though, nonetheless. And if Ohio State can pull off the victory, I think that will say a lot as far as their seeding with the upcoming NCAA tournament. It's soon. We're getting near that March time, and that's why it feels good to be talking college basketball right now, because things start to heat up when you get close to March, and it'll be a big one on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Ohio State versus the Illini in Urbana-Champaign. For myself, Kevin, for Jack and Casey, this has been the Lantern TV Sports Basketball Show. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.